Welcome in and welcome back. I am Stace Stace, and today is video number 2 of me creating this chunky pocket letter. And just a recap, in video number 1, we talked about what a pocket letter was. I am creating this pocket letter for a Facebook swap group, and the theme was hot chocolate and cookies. We vaguely sketched out what this pocket letter may look like towards the end, and we also cut out paper for our 9 pockets and created a shaker. I knew I wanted some curtains, and that's going to be a huge focal point of this pocket letter. I wanted them to be pretty and maybe try to incorporate some fabric. So this is how I decided to design them. I grabbed 2 sheets of acetate. I did mention earlier that I cannot draw, but I am going to start in the center of my pocket letter and just loosely draw a swag on one piece of that acetate. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm using that sketch that we created in video number 1 as a guide. I'm lining up both pieces of acetate, and I'm just going to cut out that little shape on the inside of that black marker. Here I'm just eyeballing exactly where I want those curtains to start. I did mention that I wanted a valance or either the house awning over the top of the curtain, so this is what I'm roughly measuring out now. Again, I can't draw, but I did my best to draw some swoops and swags, and this is what I have. I intended this to be a placeholder for the valance, but I really liked it, and so at the end you'll see how I incorporate it in the actual project. So here's my thought process for the curtains. Originally, I wanted to do some fabric, but then I wanted to do maybe sheer curtains because I did want to still decorate some things inside of the pockets, and I wanted you to be able to see through everything. Now, if you're on the outside looking in, it may look snowy, so then I pulled out the snowy mesh tool, but I also wanted that sweet, elegant feel as well, and so I pulled out this cute white lace. Then I decided, let's combine those 2 textures along with the acetate and see what we get. I absolutely love this, you guys, and I'll probably do some more things with this little combo as well. After I lined everything up and cut it out, I took it over to my sewing machine. Originally, I had the lace facing up, but if you're looking through a glass, the curtains would be on the inside, so I flipped it around and made the acetate on the outside. And that, in my opinion, was a fabulous idea. It looks so great. And now I can also stick some things on the outside of the curtains as well when I'm decorating. I also left a little opening when sewing in case I wanted to stuff my little curtain pouches with some shaker bits as well. At the end, I ended up not doing that though. Pretty satisfied with the way that the curtains are turning out. I decided now to focus my attention on the big book that's going to be situated at the bottom right hand side of the pocket letter. I decided to use my book SVG that I created. You can download this file for free over on my Ko-fi shop. I'll have the link in the description box below. I roughly measured my sketch of where I had the book, and I resized my book embellishment file accordingly. I went ahead and cut everything out using my Cricut Maker. This Spellbinders die set had the perfect size frame that I needed for this book. Turned out awesome, and all I had to do was use my stamp "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" to stamp on this oval. I wanted the text of the stamp to be crisp and raised, so I decided to use my clear embossing powder to emboss the sentiment. Here I'm just inking up the edge of my sentiment. Just using a couple of pieces of foam tape to pop up that sentiment from the gold background. And now it's time to tie everything together. Let's finish up the book embellishment. I found a nice round table on Google. I took that image, made it a SVG, and I printed out this table. I did it in a few colors. I wanted the legs pink. I wanted the actual tabletop to be this wood grain color. And I wanted to make this embellishment pretty substantial, so I also cut it out in white. The original picture of the table had a line going across the table so that it separates the tabletop from the table side. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have did this, but in the end it didn't matter anyway because I pretty much covered up the entire tabletop anyway. The next step is to work on the window frame. I definitely wanted part of the window frame to show. I'm using that same wood grain paper and just cutting out some strips. And now I'll just roughly place it where I want it to go. Now it is umpteen hours later. Did I mention that this entire pocket letter took me roughly 3 days to complete? Yeah. Now I did make some extra things to send to my partner as well, so I guess that's included too. So in that little intermission, I went die cutting crazy. Remember that valance or awning that I drew and cut out? Well, I decided to put a piece of pattern paper on top of it, and I cut that out as well. I also die cut out some icicles. I think that that'll be pretty on the outside of that piece. I used this Sizzix ornament die and cut out buku ornaments and paper pieced them together. This is what they look like. I made a couple of these shaker frame dies that I got from Temu. They turned out so cute. Remember the Christmas tree from our sketch? Well, I used this Spellbinders Christmas tree die with the pretty ornaments, and I paper pieced this Christmas tree together. I think that it is adorable and the size is just perfect. So good. I also added a few more die cut embellishments to our book embellishment. I also got this Ho 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 die from Temu. I cut it out a couple of times. I think I'm going to layer those colors together. The cute cookies with the face were gifted from You See Why I'm a Diva. I pulled the milk jug die from another die set. I cut out the sentiment cute cookies on my Cricut a while ago, and I had some extras in my stash. I'm distressing the legs on the table to give it a little bit more interest. At this point, I have a lot of elements to arrange. Let's start gluing some of this down. I'm roughly measuring and then cutting my window pane. I do want most of my pockets to still be fully functioning. I'm I'm also being mindful about what adhesives I'm using on top of the pocket letter. I know that things are going on top of my window frame and that will be able to hold it down, and this is just one layer of cardstock, so I'm using some double-sided sticky tape. The pink paper that I use to cover up my window awning is actually from a 6x6 paper pad, so there is a little bit of a seam there. I'm disguising the seam with these Christmas ornaments. I want the window awning to be raised and away from the actual window panes, so I'm using some foam tape to achieve that. Foam tape is a great way to add chunkiness to any project. Now for my actual window curtains, I pulled out the red line tape. I had to be careful about which adhesive I use for this because these window curtains will have some movement because they'll be able to flap up and down. I wanted these to be extra secure. Red line tape is great when you're adhering plastic to plastic. I'm adding a few more foam squares here for some added support. I die cut out some extra elements from that same ornament die pack. I'm gluing paper to paper, so the wet glue is okay. That ornament die set also came with these cute little gold swags, and now I'm just trying to figure out where I want those situated. I'll come back to those later. I'm using some strong double-sided sticky tape here to adhere my Christmas tree down to the plastic. I'm not adding an adhesive to the top of the Christmas tree because I still want that pocket to be able to open. In my experience, hot glue doesn't always adhere to the plastic very well, so I made sure that my glue gun was super hot before I used it. For more chunky dimension, I'm adding some foam tape to the tabletop. I also added a little bit of foam tape to the top of this cup embellishment, and that will level out the foam tape on the tabletop. I have my cookies and milk situated the way I want them, so to make sure that I can seamlessly glue them down, I just cut a little strip of paper, you won't be able to see it, to help me do that. And then I'll glue that strip down to the paper. Here I'm just adding some white eyelash trim to my embellishment, and I think that that just turned out so cute. It also added a little bit of depth to the back of that embellishment too. Double textures are always fun, so I pulled out this pink mesh. To adhere this frame shaker, I'm actually using some repositionable glue dots. Technically, my partner will be able to take the frame off and use it on something else, but it will be very difficult to do because I use so many glue dots. Okay, I think that this is going to do it for part 2. I appreciate you guys joining me for this pocket letter journey. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when the final reveal drops. I appreciate you all so much. I'm Stace Stace, and I'll see you in the next video.